Sometimes staying positive is easier said than done, but what you see is what you get. Hello, 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 angels, and welcome back to the podcast To the Core. I'm your host, Carissa, and together we are going to crack the code of how to actually start feeling like our best selves because we deserve that. On this podcast, we talk about unraveling the tough stuff and getting to the core of our wounds and desires so we can live our most aligned and authentic lives. I am so happy you chose to spend this time learning and growing with me today. Let's get right on into it. So today we are going to be talking about why staying optimistic and or positive and what can be quite a gloomy world is honestly really important. It's sometimes easier said than done for us to stay positive, and it's not necessarily like, the expectation is to ignore the shit. Like, that's not what this podcast is about. This podcast is about seeing the negative and being able to instead focus on the positives instead. And again, maybe easier said than done, but I hope that I can leave you with some pointers and just a different perspective to help you with this, because in my life, I have sometimes had a difficult time with this. Part of it is I am a Libra, and Libras tend to narrow in on the negatives rather than the positives. I will give you an example. I'm currently in the process of planning my 30th birthday trip. It is a little bit over a month away, and I cannot freaking decide for the life of me where to go because what do? I find somewhere that I think I like, and then I look at the reviews, and I always go to the lowest first because I'm glad for the people who had a great experience, but I want to know what went horribly wrong. So then I am able to weed out the experiences that I'm not willing to risk. And it literally took me realizing that I had weeded out every single resort in every single place that I was thinking about going to. And then I thought, this probably isn't realistic, right? So again, instead of narrowing in on the bad reviews and thinking, well, what could go wrong? Like, what if this goes wrong? Or I would be so upset if I didn't get this, blah, 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 blah. I switched the narrative to, well, what if everything goes beautifully right? What if the resort I choose, the experience is just immaculate? We have the best time. We celebrate my 30th in style and luxury and really enjoy ourselves. And that is kind of what inspired me to make this episode specifically, because of kind of going down these rabbit holes of continuing to think about the negatives or what could go wrong rather than thinking about what can go right. Because I will say, I have had to learn this the hard way. What you see in the world is what you are going to continue to get. And that is why we are such manifestors, right? If you say you wake up in the morning and your alarm is going off, you missed your alarm, you wake up late, you spill your coffee on your lap on the car ride, you get to the office, the person that you really don't want to see is right in your face first thing Monday morning asking something of you that you just don't have the brain energy to do right now. And that could be where you can toss up your hands and you can be like, my day is shit. Negative, pessimistic. We get it. We've all been there, right? Or that's when you can flip the script and you can be like, you know what? Haven't had the best morning, but let's switch it up and carry on and see what today has for opportunities and positive energy. Again, easier said than done. I am not a freaking messiah. I know this. It is just as difficult for me as it is anyone else to make that mindset shift, but And it also takes time to learn and realize when you need that from yourself. Because there have been times where I have been in such a negative state, and instead of snapping myself out of it, I've had somebody else do that. And let me tell you, that is no fun. When you are just in a bad headspace and you're just being negative, and the person you're with, whether it's your sibling, your parent, your friend, your partner, kind of looks at you and is like, oh, like, what is this? It's honestly feels a little embarrassing because you realize in that moment, ooh, yeah, what am I doing? The more I'm thinking negatively and the more I'm complaining or narrowing in on the bad, the more bad that's going to come. And to be honest, the people around you, they don't want to deal with that. And there's a difference between like venting about a situation and asking for advice and having a moment. Yes, yes, yes to all of that. But there is also a difference between this went wrong, my life sucks, I don't want to do this anymore, like everything's just bad and everything I see is bad and negative and I've had these days, they are literally the worst. So learning to stop yourself before A, it goes too far, or B, someone else stops you is such a powerful lesson and just like a powerful thing to be able to do for yourself. The other thing that I personally feel is helpful, especially if maybe I'm in a mindset where, you know, maybe I feel my life isn't as glamorous as I'd like it to be, or I don't make enough money, or I'm not living where I ideally would like to live. I find it very beneficial to practice gratitude. Gratitude can honestly be really life-changing, especially if it's a continuous, consistent, everyday kind of thing, because there are a lot of beautiful things in our lives that sometimes we completely overlook because we're so focused on the non-beautiful. And again, instead of attracting more beauty, you're going to attract more non-beauty. And so making these gratitude lists, whether it's in your head, in your phone, on an actual notepad, sharing it with someone you love or care about, can also help you just have that mindset shift of being like, okay, things aren't as great as I would like them to be, but here's everything I am grateful for. And just realizing that there are past versions of you who would have killed to be where you are right now. There are past versions of you that cried and prayed and like literally pleaded to the universe, God, how, whatever you want to call it. And kind of taking that moment and recognizing that is really beautiful and very inspiring. So not only switching the narrative of, this sucks, but you know what, let's find the good in this. And also, me a few years ago would be so proud. Like I literally just said this the other day to my partner. I was like, 12-year-old me would be screaming right now. And those are the things that are really kind of just beautiful and lovely to recognize. And again, this isn't always easy, but kind of training ourselves to learn how to do these things is what's going to help us in the long run, in addition to the now and the present, and just completely flipping the script. Like I remember when I was like 17 or 18, I was like, I can't wait until I have my own apartment. Like, oh, it's going to be so cute. I'm going to have like all this nice furniture and it's going to be decorated a certain way. Well, unless you are like a trust fund baby or you are extremely successful really young, practically impossible, right? Like getting the aesthetic that you really want when you're that young is either going to put you in debt or like You know what I'm saying? And so now I still have moments where I look around and I'm like, okay, we have this new build. It's kind of plain in my opinion. It's like really white. But again, there have been some living situations that have been extremely toxic and draining for me, and just super old appliances, and things are constantly breaking, and there's like floorboards that are popping up, and the AC dies, and just all of these different things. And so do we have the most beautiful and luxurious and aesthetically pleasing furniture as I wish we did? No, we don't. But again, it's flipping that mindset, and instead of seeing the lack, acknowledging what is beautiful. Wow, we have a place that's new, that we don't have to worry about things constantly breaking. We have a place that stands alone. We don't have anybody attached on either side. We don't have anyone above us. We don't have anybody below us. It stands by itself. And coming from a place that had noisy neighbors and people who were like literally walking like elephants. And I've seen these people in person. I know that they're not massive, So I'm like, why are you walking so loud? But anyways, that's besides the point. Being able to recognize, okay, you cried and prayed to be in a situation like this, and stopping myself and being like, stop being ungrateful. This is really, really cool. You wanted this. You wanted your space. You didn't want to be attached to anybody. You wanted a place that the AC wasn't going to break down randomly. And recognizing that is, just again, that mindset shift. And it helps you to, again, train your brain and go into a different mindset. And that's really cool. You also need to understand that your perspective is your reality. And so the more I look around and I see the positives of my life, the more positive it's going to get. And stopping myself from thinking about what I don't have and instead realizing what I do have, that's kind of where, again, these things sometimes take practice, but the more you do them, the more natural it's going to feel. And you won't even really have to check yourself. Like, you might say one negative thing, but then your brain will just like shift really quickly out of that negative lack mindset. And again, this is all manifesting. Like, if take it from me, okay? You do not want to accidentally manifest more shit. You don't. So stop zoning in on the pessimistic, the negative, because believe me or don't, but you will manifest more of that. I literally have learned this from experience, and it's not an easy lesson to learn. So, yeah. On that note, negativity and positivity are contagious. So being cautious about who you spend your time around is also key. Again, being there as a friend or a partner or a daughter, son, whatever. Those things help you grow in addition to the person you're helping, but you do not want to surround yourself with people who are constantly bringing down the energy. We all know this person who is always saying, nothing ever goes right for me. Oh, well, my luck is just shit. And well, I just can't seem to get a break. Well, yes, life happens. Mental illness happens. health related problems happen, finances happen, careers happen and don't happen, right? Like bad things happen to us all. But you really want to be careful not to surround yourself with people like that, because your brain takes everything that you feed it very seriously. And so if you continuously have somebody in your ear yapping about everything that's gone wrong for them in this lifetime and how they can't seem to get a break and they're just like shit out of luck, like, yeah, run if you can. No, for real though. It's just, that's not good to be around. And again, being there for somebody um in a safe space where they can vent, and whether they want your advice or opinion or not, and moving on with your life, beautiful. Love that for you and them. Everybody needs somebody to be there for them. Yes, yes, yes. We just really want to be careful and protect our energy and make sure that, again, we are not surrounding ourselves with people who are pouring their crap all over us, because that will just hold you back and it'll be difficult for you to finally step into your higher self and reach your fullest potential. And I don't want that for you, and I know that you do not want that for you. So protect your peace, protect your energy, love everything that you possibly can about your life. I will say some of the things that I have told myself in some of the hardest moments of my life is, oh, my cat's so cute. Like, I'm so grateful. Oh, look at them eating their little bellies with their little toe beans. Whatever it takes to shift your mind from this negative environment to something that's positive, no matter how small or big you may think it is, try and practice doing that, because it will become very natural for you eventually, and you will thank yourself. You got this. I am so proud of you for being here and listening. This is a self-care and self-love podcast. And so if even just one thing that I said today helps you to better your life, then I am here for it. I just wanted to give a quick reminder that I am not advertising the podcast on social media whatsoever. I am doing it the old school word of mouth way. Being on social media just really doesn't align with how I want to feel day to day. So yeah, if this episode helped you, and you feel called to, if you could please give me a follow. If you feel you have a friend or family member or your partner who could really benefit from this episode, send it their way, have them give it a listen. I do just want to let you know that I am so grateful for your support. And if you made it to the end of the podcast, I'm so happy you are still here. And I appreciate you. And I just wanted to also, again, remind you that I am working on getting my video set up. I know this is a few times now that I've said this. I just want to let you know I'm still diligently working on it, because I do know that putting a voice with a face is really important in today's society. Also, just for that connection, I want to feel that connection with my listeners. And so I am diligently working on that behind the scenes. It is just a process. So thank you very much for your patience, and I cannot wait to connect with you, learn with you, and grow with you. I love you. I'm so proud of you. And until next time, bye.